So Logan Paul just rude-worded CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. I don't want to be that guy, but I predicted this as soon as he came out. And you don't have to believe me, right? I said other videos today. You go, Simon, you're a massive liar. I would think that too. Why am I even telling you this? What a nerd. I was able to figure it out. Big whoop, dude. You should grow up. However, I seldom get things right in professional wrestling, so it did make me a proud panda. And really, the main reason we did this, well, there's two words. And there's two words that William Regal used to shout. That's absolutely what's going to tie in here. But before we get into that, please do hit the subscribe button because, of course, subscribers on YouTube are like gold in 2025. But otherwise, sit down, have yourself a cup of tea, and yeah, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. But it's War Games. That's the two words I was referring to. You may not know that. Maybe you're a brand new wrestling fan, so welcome. Thank you for joining my bizarre clan, community, group, friendship, bracelet, love-in. That's the worst one. Let's definitely not go with that. But CM Punk's promo at the start of the show I thought was very, very good. It was very, very... I'm the babyface champion of Raw, which he absolutely is. He thanked his wife. He thanked the fans. He thanked Jey Uso, which I thought was important. I mean, you can kind of say we did that to keep Jey Uso babyface, but it's also a great way to turn him heel because now we're pretending that CM Punk and Jey Uso were fine. I'm still not 100% sure on that, and given what happened on this night, I doubt Jey Uso is going to go heel. There was no boos in the building. I mean, maybe one or two. I'm sure if you really listened out, you'd be able to hear them. But after the crazy backlash on the internet, it always goes to show. And of course, you're allowed to dislike Jey Uso. You're allowed to dislike and hate and love everybody that you do want. I just think some of it goes way too far. Some of the things I was reading, I was like, this is not criticism. This is just insulting somebody now. And you're also going past Jey Uso into, I don't know what his real name is, whoever the real life guy is. And I just don't think you should do that. I don't think it's big. I don't think it's clever. I don't think it helps anything. And it also takes the nuance away from the debate. There's so many actual things you could put forward that someone else could then counterpoint. But if you're just going to use rude words, then it all falls down into the toilet anyway. But it was Logan Paul who interrupted CM Punk. I think CM Punk mentioned he wants to be a fighting champion, mentioned John Cena. It's not going to happen, but it would be cool, obviously. He mentioned Sheamus. He mentioned Finn Balor. He mentioned JD McDonough. He mentioned The Vision. He mentioned Dominik Mysterio. I thought it was a shame he didn't mention Penta. Penta had a match later on against El Grande Americano. I would try Penta in the world title scene at some point, and we can still do that. It's just when I see how WWE uses him, I think they value him, and I think they use him as an upper mid-card level, and he has that amazing entrance. But I'm starting to think that's where they think his ceiling is. Otherwise, I think CM Punk would be allowed to say it here, but I do not know, right? I'm completely guessing. Although I will say, CM Punk versus Sheamus, and CM Punk versus Finn Balor, and AJ Styles, almost forgot him. I would take all three of those matches, and you have to do big promo-offs beforehand too. That would rule. But anyway, Logan Paul comes out and he says, I guess he kind of had logic behind it. I beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, therefore I should get a shot. I just enjoy CM Punk's reaction. He was like, oh, anyone but you. You need to go away. Who else was anyone but you? Was that John Cena and Bray Wyatt? I think so. Am I making that up? Correct me in the comments. Please do. When you are down there, hit the like button. Why the flub not? But it was really a tease for the end of the show. Logan Paul is going to be in War Games. How do we get him in War Games? Well, the Vision come out and Paul Heyman's like, listen, I told Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, do nothing for 2 weeks, just chill out, man. But now we're going to let them do whatever they want. They get in the ring, they push Logan Paul on the floor, they beat up CM Punk. Bronson Reed did give the tsunami to Logan Paul, and then he was at the end of the show. I mentioned this to somebody, and they said, oh, maybe Bronson Reed didn't really hit it properly. He's a massive man. There shouldn't be a way to hit a fake tsunami, even within the kayfabe world of pro wrestling. That's just me being a massive geek. I am aware of this. But CM Punk then chases him away with a chair. And I don't think anybody wants to see Logan Paul as a babyface. I think it'd be a terrible idea to do Logan Paul as a babyface. If you ever do want to turn him, you have to plant the seeds as well. It can't be a 180, which is what we did here. But that's why I kind of thought we need bad guys on one side. I would imagine the fourth person. So it's Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker, Logan Paul. I think you'll get a Brock Lesnar in there too. Don't know who the fifth guy is. Drew McIntyre, I suppose. That's one to debate. But it was a good opening segment, like it was. CM Punk should get through War Games and then go into a proper feud with somebody. Who that is, I do not know. Again, it depends what we do with Jey Uso. But I didn't hate it. It did what it needed to do. And he also mentioned Seth Rollins, which I think was important as well, because when Seth comes back, you're going to have to address that angle. But we basically told you, we've shifted gears, new landscape, to use Triple H's words. Maybe we're going left. Now we're going right. It was totally fine. I liked it. And yes, it tied into the main event as well, because it was, well, I didn't like this so much. CM Punk and Jey Uso versus The Vision felt like a match we'd done 49,786 times. Maybe we had to do it again here. It ended in a count out. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with ending a match on a count-out. I think WWE has kind of fallen into that non-finish lane a little bit too much in 2025. We've discussed it a lot. I can only respond to my emotions. That's what I'm talking about. And when it happened, I did go, man, a count out, especially because now, and this is all wrestling promotions, people will brawl outside the ring for like 47 years. And the referee goes, 1, wait a lifetime. 2, wait a lifetime. When you know you're doing a count out, all of a sudden the official goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10. It makes me laugh. WWE didn't want anybody to lose. Maybe we could have come up with something different. I'm not offering anything new. So what the fluff do I talking about? But that's how it made me feel. I was like, that's a bit of a damp squib ending to Raw. But I think WWE felt like they could get away with it because, of course, they had their big angle, which is Jey Uso got murked, right? He got tsunami'd. If he's off TV now after Logan Paul was fine, I'm going to have a conniption. But CM Punk gets a chair like he did in the opening, so Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker go, we can get chairs too. They have a standoff. Out comes Logan Paul wearing his brass knucks like it's a pistol of some sort. And, of course, he punched CM Punk right in the face and gave the brass knucks to Paul Heyman as if it was some sort of offering to join the group. I think Logan Paul is going to join the group properly. I don't think he needs to, because if he does, you have to get him out again. He can just be an ally. He can just be a friend. But yes, Survivor Series is around about a month away. I think I can't remember where it is this year. No, it's less than that. It's like 3 weeks away. It's already in November. So you need to start setting up the teams. We have way too many PLEs, right? / pay-per-views. And that's fine. Logan Paul, they do consider him one of their biggest stars. You want to put him in War Games. It's going to raise the star power, at least how they see it. Fair play to Punk as well, because Punk got absolutely whammed in that match. Jey Uso got the hot tag, and of course he ended it here with him getting punched. I guess my worry is I don't want to come out of War Games and do Logan Paul versus CM Punk feud. That doesn't interest me at all. I don't believe that Logan Paul would win, nor would I want to see him win. I just think there's other people that would be, I don't want to say more deserving, because what does that even mean? Just more feuds that I would be interested in. But at least Raw ended with a very clear wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're heading towards War Games. Come and have some fun with us. And it was fine. It was decent. I don't think there's anything on this show that tied into Triple H's tweet of, the landscape is changing. Does Logan Paul joining the Vision kind of count as that? I would say probably not. And would Logan Paul even have been in this if it wasn't for the Seth Rollins things? We don't know. But you do have to move the chess pieces. You do have to move the deck once you struggle with these things. And at no point during this show did I feel like it was a mistake or an error to have CM Punk in this role. I really, really didn't. I think it was the right thing to do. I think maybe if Jey Uso had won, the contingent that have gone crazy may have gotten so loud, you would have knocked him, of course. When it comes to Jey, there is still interesting things there. So he had 2 conversations backstage. One was with CM Punk, and they kind of, made friends, hence why they set up the tag team match. But Jey Uso made sure to say, I'm not Little Roman, don't call me that, like I'm some kind of pizzeria down the lane. But also, I'm not listening to Roman Reigns, I'm not listening to Jimmy Uso, which is what he said to Paul Heyman later. And there, at first, Paul Heyman was like, we have a vision. Again, they're let off the leash now, they can do whatever they want. They're not going to mess with you too much, Jey, because it sounds like you've got a vision of your own. And in the main event, he got totally squashed. That was either Paul Heyman just being a massive dickhead, or it's going to tie into something. I mean, you're meant to think once again that Jey Uso is going to go bad guy. And again, in his conversations with CM Punk and Paul Heyman, he wasn't happy-go-lucky Jey Uso. He was during his entrance, but here there were shades of grey. There was attitude, there was edge. Not Adam Copeland, he went to AEW. But it could also be a ruse. We didn't see Jimmy Uso at all. Is he technically a SmackDown guy? I can't even remember now. It's so hard to keep up. So maybe he's going to do something there. Maybe we just needed him some kind of sort of like plot point leading into Saturday night's main event, and then we go elsewhere. We'll wait and see. I like Jey Uso. I think he's great. People talking about, oh man, he gasses out during matches, man. Lots of people have gassed out during matches, and I can still enjoy what they do. Base it on how did I feel when I watched what went down. That's going to change week to week. But so far, I think Jey Uso is a lot of fun. I find him entertaining. People will then say, well, he cannot possibly be world champion if he has no gas tank. All right, maybe not. But right now, he's not the world champion, so I don't need to worry about it. I'm just glad he's still being featured. I'm a big fan of Jey Uso. I think he's pretty damn cool. And also, it gives me faith and hope in future WWE. Because absolutely, if Jey Uso had gotten this over in the old WWE, it never would have happened. But in new WWE, if we could even call it that anymore, it can happen. So if anybody else on the show or something goes, poop, all of a sudden you'll fly up. I didn't mention this on Ups and Downs. It's literally just popped into my brain. So I should do that. So check it out anyway. LA Knight was not on the show at all. That was bad. LA Knight should be on the show. I mean, he just lost the match last week. I know he got absolutely murked, but LA Knight should always be featured. I mean, absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder, but I think he should have been put into a big program here now. So even though we did lose to Bron Breakker last week, he's back on his feet. It's only just popped into my brain literally right now. It seems a bit funny. Otherwise, women's tag team title stuff is brilliant. It's always brilliant. I keep saying this and people yelling at me. You are allowed, of course. But Asuka and Kairi Sane are all like, man, we don't like the fact that Bayley and Lyra Valkyria jumped the line. So they had a match. Perfectly fine. I mean, they didn't really cheat. Asuka just pushed, who was it, Bayley into Lyra or Lyra into Bayley. And Lyra continued to fight, to be fair to her. She didn't fall into wrestling tropes, but she went for a flying nothing very sillily. And she got caught on the Asuka lock, 1, 2, 3. It wasn't a 1, 2, 3. Obviously, it was a tap out. It was just a really good match. Everybody in this rules. Like, Kairi Sane has depth because she's quite clearly enamored with Asuka, but also terrified. Asuka, I think, is the character of the year, even though she's only been back like 3 months. That's how good she's been doing. Lyra Valkyria is brilliant, and ever since she's become sort of like insane in backstage segments, it works for her, and more power to her. And I think Bayley is one of the most underrated wrestlers in all of professional wrestling. I imagine we're going to the Bayley-Lyra feud, because we keep having these backstage skits where they do fall out, and Lyra's trying to G her up, and I mean, Bayley wasn't really to blame here, but I guess you could kind of argue that she was, or Bayley could blame Lyra too. You could have it going either way. But Bayley still did cost Lyra the IC title like 4 or 5 months ago, so you could do something there. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss ran out afterwards because the Kabuki War is going to kick some ass. I want that match to be a Survivor Series. Don't do it on a random Raw. Don't do it on a random SmackDown. I'm pretty sure it's already been announced for Raw next week. I didn't double check. But I would hold it off for a pay-per-view. But at the same time, the Women's Tag Team Championships are absolutely some titles you can hot potato around. I don't mean just because it has to be a reason. But if you're going to have these elongated world title reigns, I think with the secondary titles, there should always be this idea, this jeopardy that they could change hands. Nobody's going to get mad if the Kabuki Warriors win. They're brilliant. Nobody's going to get mad if Charlotte and Alexa win them back. They're brilliant as well. I would still somehow insert Bayley and Lyra Valkyria into this because I think the more depth the division has, the more interesting it is in. But every time WWE allows these things to appear on TV for more than a week, they're just so interesting and they always work. And you can take two people like Charlotte and Alexa. What would they be doing without all of this? I just think it was super duper good. And there was a video for the Kabuki Warriors when Asuka actually said, I'll start not being nice. I was like, this is you? Not nice. She's flubbing brilliant, man. Screw men, screw women, screw all of those terms. One of the best wrestlers, hands down. Maybe ever. I also love the fact that Rey Mysterio is on this show. I mean, if it was rumoured, I totally missed it. Nothing wrong with that. But Dominik's out there, calls himself King of the Luchadors. Rey basically comes out and says, you king of nothing, pal. And he boots him in the face and Dominik Mysterio runs away. There was obviously more to it than that. It was a really good back and forth. And when Rey Mysterio said Eddie Guerrero's name, Dominik instantly went, keep my dad's name out of your mouth. It's wunderbar. It's good stuff. My big question now is, are the John Cena Dominik Mysterio rumors not true? I'd like to see that match because I think if you allowed them to promo against each other with gloves being off, it would be wonderful. But Survivor Series is in San Diego, right? So if you were going to do Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio part 3 or is it part 2? My only thing is, again, it's only 3 weeks away. I think you can build it for longer than that, but then the counterpoint is they've already done the hard work like 2 years ago or whenever it was. I just love them together. Clearly, they have chemistry for obvious reasons. I really don't want Rey Mysterio to retire in 2026 because everybody's retiring in 2026. But I think Dom should be responsible for that. I mean, it depends, really. Dom was still over here as a babyface, right? Lots of dirty, dirty Dom chants. But nobody was booing Rey. Rey is impossible to boo against unless he comes out number 30. In a Royal Rumble. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. I don't know, it's an interesting one. I don't think you'd bring Rey Mysterio back to confront his son and then John Cena was going to be his step-in. That makes Rey Mysterio look a bit like a bum. It's like, well, you're having John Cena do your dirty work for you? I don't know. That's an interesting one, but I enjoyed the surprise. That was the best surprise on the show. That was something that made me feel, oh man, this feels fresh. Although actually, speaking about freshness, fair play to the John Cena, this is the last time now rolls off the tongue tournament. Because we're doing it in a tumbler, right? Like it's a Royal Rumble in 2005. Can't use computers. Screw modern day technology. But Adam Pearce was there. Our first 2 matches are Damian Priest and Rusev and Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm worried I've got those crossed now. No, I'm pretty sure that's right. It's a combo of those 4. But they were really interesting. When Adam Pearce said them, I was like, oh yeah, that will work. If I was going to hazard a guess, I would have presumed that Rusev and Sheamus go through, because then maybe that's how Sheamus gets his revenge, which would be a bit of a shame because I wanted Rusev to become the IC champion. That's how Sheamus got his comeback. But you don't have to do that match again either way. But I loved it. And I think if we go by the video, Dominik Mysterio is going to be in it. Gunther's going to be in it. Carmelo Hayes is going to be in it. The Miz is going to be in it. There's other people as well. The big thing they've made out, and John Cena did his video here as well. WWE, yes. NXT, yes. So Trick Williams is probably going to be in it. SmackDown, yes. And people from the outside. If we are considering Joe Hendry a man from the outside, just put him in. He shouldn't win it, but he should be involved. And Matt Cardona has to be a lock. Matt Cardona has to be in this thing. Doesn't have to get past the first round. WWE can do whatever the flub they want. But Matt Cardona does have a kind of tie to John Cena, mostly when he stole his girlfriend. Different story, different day. But given that reaction he got on NXT and given everything else, I would put him in it. I really, really, really would. I think it would be a shame not to, especially because I've convinced myself Gunther is winning. I think that is John Cena's most interesting final match. Or Dominik Mysterio. I'd be all right with that as well. But this is shaping up to be really good. Everyone is treating it like it's a tournament that means something even more than a world championship. John Cena knows how to tie into that hoopla. I really liked it. And I like the dumb tumbler like it's a Raw Rumble. Couple of thumbs up from me. I'm genuinely excited to see the matches, to see the winners, and see where it's going to go. That's all I need. It's entertainment TV. Becky Lynch promo was brilliant too. She just went off here. We're in New Mexico, right? She said the best thing about this place is a show that just told us how much meth you all do. Talking about Breaking Bad. She's just telling you she's going to fight Maxine Dupree again. She did kind of mention it. She said there's no point training because you can't beat me. It's something that you can't learn. To me, this has to be the return of AJ Lee. I mean, it could be Natalia, I suppose, but that feels a bit redundant. Why would a Maxine Dupree says, I'm training with Natalia? You know, the woman that I've been linked to ever since I debuted on Monday Night Raw. I don't know whether AJ Lee wants to come back or not. Again, CM Punk mentioned her in our opening promo. But that's absolutely what I would do. I would find, AJ Lee is the mentor or the trainee of Maxine Dupree. She comes this close. Becky Lynch cheats. Out comes AJ Lee. And they can fight over the Intercontinental title. I want this IC title to be thrown back into the spotlight, I suppose. I mean, Maxine Dupree has been having IC title matches. But it was just so good when Bayley and Lyra and Becky were doing those things. I don't want what's happened on the SmackDown US Women's Championship to happen. Check out my talking about that from Saturday afternoon. Terrible. Genuinely terrible. But I think Becky Lynch is in contention to be a Wrestler of the Year too. A lot of people are going to get mad about that. I know there are a group of people that really don't like Becky Lynch. Again, all power to you. You still say horrible things. You don't need to take it that far. I think the character work, the promo work, the obnoxiousness, how much of a dork she is, but also she's brilliant in the ring. It's some of Becky Lynch's best work as a heel, for sure. I don't think you'll ever match what she did in 2018 or whatever it was as a babyface. But as a bad guy, I think it's a wonderful character. You can tell she's having the time of her life, and the fans will buy into it and boo. No problem with this. El Grande Americano versus Penta, same kind of a deal. All the El Grandes Americanos were out there, but Penta still won. Again, why can't we just give... Where does he go now with Penta? That's the strange thing. Like, we had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Judgment Day. Dominic's out there with the Shillelagh. The Sheamus comes out to get revenge, but also don't hit people with my weapon. Got some good near falls, but eventually AJ Styles got the Styles Clash on JD 1, 2, 3. Where do you go with the tag team division? Because there are no tag teams. I know I talk about this all the time, but it's true. And what does Penta do now? Like, is it time to reunite Penta and Phoenix? Not really, because now Phoenix is hanging out with Shinsuke Nakamura. He's got a brand new tag team partner. But there are certain areas of Raw where I think we need to kind of take a step back and sort of plan stuff out. Because Rusev mentioned the John Cena tournament, so he's now obviously going off in that direction. I don't believe that Penta is in it. So Penta kind of feels like he's in no man's land. I love the New Day. I think they're one of the best tag teams of all time, but they can't come back and challenge for these championships without a decent storyline to try and justify it. The War Raiders don't exist anymore. The Creeds don't exist anymore. I know it's boring. Merge the titles. Then all of a sudden you could be doing AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Wyatts. Who are they about to face? It is... I can't even remember now. But it kind of feels to me like Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, which apparently was the original plan, should win those championships just to spice things up a bit. But I feel like we need more teams, and we need more teams across both brands to all of a sudden start coming together. WWE is not going to do this, and nor should they listen to me because I'm a bald idiot. But I just think all of a sudden you're going to have these extra teams. It's going to create way more fun, which is all I really want. Because right now I don't know what AJ Lee and AJ Styles do. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee do. And it's AJ Styles, and if he is actually going to retire in 2026, and he's made it pretty adamant that he is, we need a super plan here. I understand that you could hit the brakes until John Cena's retired, don't need to muddy the waters. But yeah, I'll be intrigued to see what they do. But it was a decent episode of Raw. And I like Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vicaire taking on the Judgment Day as well. No idea why Raquel is getting the title shot against Stephanie when Roxanne Perez got the win this week and last week. But at the same time, classic WWE. At one point, Stephanie tried to slam Raquel and she couldn't because Raquel was too big. It's no mercy rules, but that should be the way. I really like Raquel Rodriguez. She's another one. She had a great 2025, as is Roxanne Perez. I'd actually put Stephanie Vicaire into the AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Penta conversation. Where does she go? I feel like she needs a proper big feud. Because this is what we did with Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. I am repeating what I've said in other videos today. Please forgive me. But it's just kind of aimless. And someone as over as Stephanie Vicaire, to make sure you keep that momentum and keep that joy, when she enters an arena, she needs to be maybe doing more than this. Nikki Bella took the pin here. And then later on, Nikki Bella basically went, please say something nice to me, Stephanie Vicaire. I hate myself so much. I think she should go heel. I actually think Stephanie Vicaire versus Nikki Bella, with some time, with some promos, and allowing Stephanie Vicaire to get a little bit mad at Nikki Bella after she does turn on her, could probably see you through to the end of the year, maybe into the Royal Rumble. I think there's something to that. I quite like Nikki Bella. I think Nikki Bella doesn't get the... She deserves more credit anyway for everything she did with Total Divas. That did bring up a wider women's audience. But I don't know, I was just watching, I was just like, there's something to this. I think we should pull the trigger and turn her heel. But she's one of these people that comes back and I think she has a lot more to offer. We just need to get there. So maybe we get to the Judgment Day stuff. What will probably happen? Oh no, you can't do that. I was going to say Nikki Bella could accidentally cost Stephanie the match, but the championship is on the line. But it just feels so on the nose to me. Like, I didn't mean to scrap. Please. It really makes me giggle because I'm a 4-year-old boy. That's what I would do. I would turn Nikki Bella here and heel. So I think Stephanie Vicaire beating Nikki Bella does mean something, given that she's a Hall of Famer and WWE does do a decent job and going, oh my gosh, she's so damn important. But I think a heel run at this point, even if the fans don't go with it, that's fine. They're not going to boo Stephanie Vicaire over Nikki Bella. I just think that would actually allow the division to be freshened up a bit. But it was a decent Raw. Maybe not as big as I thought it was going to be, given that CM Punk won the championship. But there's only a couple of things that sort of really stood out to me. Again, the count-out finish. And yeah, Stephanie just not really... I just want more for Stephanie Vicaire because she's so over. I think we can turn her into a super-duper megastar. And a lot of the other stuff was kind of just what you'd expect from WWE. But I don't mind that all the time. But I don't think there's anything on here that's going to sort of change your life or anything. And again, we made it very clear that Logan Paul, what would be my War Games team? I mean, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, if we're not going to defend that championship, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, and Jey Uso, I suppose. That doesn't sound right at all. Versus Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre. I think that all ties in, given the feuds that we do have. I've so forgotten someone, and I'm going to hate myself, but I've said it now, and there's no going back. Now, of course, you can have your own thoughts when it comes to WWE Raw. Please drop me a comment below, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. The video I did yesterday actually got more traction than I was expecting. It's all to do with that picture of Ricky Starks, CM Punk, Jade Cargill, and Cody Rhodes taking that picture. I thought it got blown way out of proportion, and I think we all need to check ourselves. You can also call me an idiot. That would be perfectly fair. Otherwise, like the video, share the video, subscribe. Patreon.com/Simon316 for my watch-alongs. GorillaMind.com/Simon to get money off supplements. Use those codes Simon. It's very, very good. Otherwise, Simon316 on social media, Simon on TikTok and Cameo. Again, dumb videos on TikTok. ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller for merchandise. Now, I must go. Other content to make, but I send you all the love in the world. I'll talk to you soon.